Hey boys and girls, this is Mr. Britton. Today I'm going to teach you Chapter 3 of Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Waggle. Let's get started. Get your thumbs and your voices ready. Today, Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Waggle are going to start inside their houses, so you can put your thumbs in your hands. And one morning, Mr. Wiggle woke up, opened up his door, pop, came outside, pop, closed his door, boom. And he went to go see Mr. Waggle. So he went up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill till he got to Mr. Waggle's house and he knocked on the door. Knock, 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 knock. Oh, Mr. Waggle woke up. So he opened up the door, pop, came outside, pop, and closed the door, boom. And Mr. Wiggle asked Mr. Waggle a question. He said, "Do you want to go for a road trip?" Well, what's a road trip, Mr. Wiggle? It's when we get a car and we take a trip on a road, like a road trip. Oh, okay. But you don't have a car. No. Do you have a car? No, I don't have a car. Oh. So they had a problem. They needed a car. So there was a car store on the other side of town, so they had to walk up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill till they got to the car store, and they knocked on the car store's door. Knock, 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 knock. And the salesperson came out and she said, "Well, what kind of car are you looking for? Are you looking to buy a car today?" And they both said, "Yeah, we're going to buy a car for our road trip." So she said, "What kind of car do you want?" And Mr. Wiggle said, "Well, I don't have a ton of money, so why don't we look at an economy model to start?" So she said, "Okay, come over here." And they walked over to the economy models. And she said, "Well, it's not the fastest, it's not the flashiest, but it'll get you where you need to go." And they said, "Can we test drive this car?" And she said, "Sure." So they hopped in the car, turned the engine key, and it was silver, a little bit loud. But then they started driving, and they putt, 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 up the hill, and putt, 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 down the hill. Putt, 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 up the hill, and down the hill. And then they drove it back to the sales lot. And Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Waggle hopped out, and they said, "Well, maybe we'll spend a little bit more. Do you have anything better than the economy model?" And she said, "Yeah. We've got our classic model. You want to try that out?" And it was a little brighter, and it was a little flashier, and they hopped into that new car, and they turned the key, vroom, ooh, and they started going up the hill and down the hill, and up the hill and down the hill, and up the hill and down the hill, and that was pretty nice. And Mr. Wiggle said, "Do you think it goes any faster, Mr. Waggle?" He said, "Let's try." So then they drove to the highway. And then he said, "All right, let's go a little faster." And they went up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill. And then they drove it back to the sales lot. Now, when they got back, Mr. Waggle was kind of curious now. And he said, "Well, do you have anything even faster than that?" And she said, "Well, we've got a deluxe sports car. Do you want to try that out?" And they both went like this. So they got into their new deluxe sports car, turned the engine key, and they turned it off because they wanted to hear that engine key again. They turned it back on, and then they revved the engine, and they went up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill. Whoa, that was really fun. You want to do that again? Yeah, let's do that again. And they went up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill. Whoa. And then they went on the highway. And they said, "We need to take this car for our road trip." So they drove back to the sales lot. And the sales lady said, "Well, how'd you like it? Did you like it?" And they both went like this. And she said, "Well, it's going to be a lot of money." "How much money?" She said, "Maybe like $50,000. $50,000? I don't have that much money." "Do you have that much money?" "No, I don't have that much money." Well, they had a problem. So next week, we're going to have to figure out, can Mr. Wiggle and Mr. Waggle afford the new car? We'll have to find out. See you next week, guys and girls.